Color grading doesn't have to be complicated, but I know you're trying to achieve that Hollywood look in just a few simple steps. You don't need 20 nodes to get that professional look. All those looks you're seeing, they had to start somewhere, then an audience saw it, and now it became an inspiration for every content creator's grade. You don't need 20 nodes to get the professional look. I'm gonna show you how I color grade in just a few simple steps. Let's dive into DaVinci Resolve. Let's open DaVinci Resolve, and now let's go into our color page. Now we're here in our color page, and as you can see, there's sliders, tabs, knobs, and this can get overwhelming. But for right now, we're only working in our color wheel. You have the HDR wheel and you have the color wheel. For right now, we're working in the color wheels. Let's create our 6 nodes, and this is considered the magic 6. So it's option S. Now we're gonna label our nodes. So we're gonna label our first node, which is the primary. We're gonna label our second node, which is our highlight. We're gonna label our third node, which is our contrast. We're gonna label our fourth node, which is our saturation. Let's go to our fifth node, which is our LUT or creative node. And let's go to our sixth node, which is our CST. For those who like to do the color space transform, where they transform their footage to the Rec 709, but right now we're not gonna get into all of that. SFX, which is our special effects node. There's no right or wrong way to set up your node tree, but once you have a proper node tree structure that you can consistently use throughout your workflow, that is the only consistent thing you need. Let's take a look at the color panel that's down here. So we see these color wheels. We have lift, gamma, gain, and offset. Step 2, use scopes, not just your eye. This helps you be consistent across all your clips. So to the bottom right, we have our scopes. As you can see, scopes. There are many scopes, and it's all about user preference. You have the Parade, which I'm using now. You have your waveforms. You have your vector scopes. I know some people who love the vector scopes. It gives them a true skin tone. You have your histogram. I use Parade more, so that's what we'll be using today. So what scopes can help you with is see if your highlights are clipping or if you're crushing the darks. So as you can see, everything for me is sitting in the middle right now, so it's telling me that I shot my footage pretty well for the most part. So let's set up your scopes where you can see when you're clipping, your highlights are crushing your blacks. So I'll show you how to set up your markers. So you want to go on the same tab right here in the settings. So you'll see to the bottom it has show preference, and I can turn that off. Show preference levels, and so I have my preference levels turned on. You can see I have the low, which is here. It was on 95, so I have before I hit. So 0 is actually where you crush. I have my settings already set to 95. If you want to just copy and paste, you can. And then my high is at 940. That's to let me know if I'm clipping. So let me go back to 940. Step 3, contrast and saturation. Let's identify them. So to your top of your color wheel, you have contrast, and to the bottom of contrast, the gain, look to the bottom, see saturation. Contrast and saturation adds life to your footage without overdoing it. As you notice, I have a separate node tree for contrast and a separate node tree for saturation. Get familiar with these tabs because they will be used very often. Step 4, let's create your look. The thing that you've been waiting for this whole time. There are tons of tabs we can explore, but for right now, let's keep it simple. If you have a LUT, you can apply it. You want to go to your LUT tab. You can see a LUT tab right here on the left-hand screen to the top next to gallery. Get familiarized with gallery because we're going to use that next. Let's go back to our LUT. I have a LUT I've already created for my Sony. Let's go here. Let's add the GD LUT onto my LUT. Right away, you saw color added. DaVinci has a lot of preloaded LUTs that comes with DaVinci Resolve. So take your time, go through the LUT panel and find a LUT that matches your camera. Let's go to our primary. All right, so remember I talked about the scopes earlier. If you do the eye test, for some it might look good, but for me, I can tell I'm gonna use the scopes, and the scopes is telling me it's clipping. If your footage is not properly balanced, you could use the temperature slider to correct your color to your desired feel or your client's request. Right here, you have your temperature, so you could make it cooler, you could make it warmer, depending on the time of day. If you want to adjust your temperature, this is how you could white balance your footage. So I'm gonna do a little white balancing. For right now, for some, the clip might look good, you know, it might be ready to go. For some, if you're in a rush, hey, you could send that out as a pre-clip to your clients, or you could send it out for just for people to see. They get an idea of how the edit's gonna look and just let them know that, hey, I'm still working on the grade. But for right now, our scopes is telling me it's clipping. Let's move the gain slider right here to the bottom, the spinning wheel, and let's bring our highlights down. So now you bring your highlights down right to the white line, as you can see. And so what I usually do is, where I have most of my data, I try to bring that data right on the line. As you can see, I'm bringing it back. So let's bring it back. And if I turn it off and turn it on, you can see a drastic change: on, off, LUT off, LUT on. So that's what you do to make sure that you're seeing changes so your eye can adjust to what you're doing. All right, so for right now, if you look at the shadows, I have a little crush on the shadows. You can see right here, my reds are crushing a little bit, which is my skin tone. Everything else is pretty balanced. So if I don't want to, I don't have to raise the shadows, but I can just to get it a little balance. Step 4, add contrast and saturation. Now that we have identified the contrast and saturation, let's start adding some life to our footage. Let's add some contrast. As you can see, let's go to our contrast tab and add contrast. And as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of life to my footage. Let's go to it, Command D, turn it off, Command D, bring it back, off, on, on. And as you can see, it might be a little too dark. So we good. As you can see, everything you would do, like I said earlier, will adjust the node, affect each node. And so you could bring down, you go back to your primaries and bring down your highlights just a little bit, and then go to the shadows and raise your shadows. Let's go to my contrast, and as you can see, still pretty good. That's what it was before the contrast. Let's add some enhancements. Saturation, as you can see, saturation is to the bottom. Let's increase it. I usually don't go over 60 and not even 55. So let's add some saturation. As you can see, I'm adding some color to my skin tone. I'm a dark person, so I went over 69. Most times I'm working with a higher hue person, so anything over that but have them looking like an orange cheese. So I keep it clean, I keep it timeless. Ensure that the primaries are adjusted in the primaries, the contrast in the contrast, saturations in the saturation, and you add your LUT in the LUT node. And if you have a little extra highlights, you use the highlight node to bring it down. Now you just created your footage in 4 simple steps, and you gain some knowledge about the color page and how to use color wheel. The 6th node usually is for my effects. So let's go to our effect panel. This is where I add effects. So my effects panel is to the top right. As you can see, effects. I go to the drop down. We're gonna use the noise reduction plugin. So let's type in noise reduction. As you see, already pops up. There wasn't no noise because this was shot properly. But if this was shot in low light, I would go to the threshold. Nothing happens because there's no noise to be removed. But if you had noise from the low light, then you remove some of the noise using the noise reduction. Step 6, save time with PowerGrades. So let's go to our gallery. We'll see the gallery drop down. Here's our gallery tab. PowerGrade, let's select PowerGrade. Now hover over your footage. I'm on a Mac computer, and so I do Control left on the mouse. You can see grab still, grab as a still, grab missing still. But for right now, we're gonna do grab still. So you're gonna grab your still, and as you saw, the still just opened up. Now we can go Control again, and then we can go down there, Control again, and let's change label, and let's name it whatever you want to name it. You can name it whatever you want to name it. So you could use this over and over again when you come to color grade. All right, so the reason why I had a second footage is to show you what you just did with your color node. So I just took the same node tree structure, I applied it to this footage, but as you see, most times you have to make tweak adjustments. So everything is still good. All you have to do is go onto your primaries. Remember the scopes. So I want to raise my shadows, bring my shadows up. Let's go to my gain. Let's lower my gain. She's a little brighter than me, so I'll take away some saturation. We're gonna raise our gain levels, and we're gonna bring down some shadows. And we use the same node tree structure, the same setup. All we're doing now is adjusting, and that's what you have to do across clips, because you might be shooting an event. You shot a clip outside, you shot a clip inside, or you shot a clip when the light was changing from the lighting engineer. But you don't want to have to keep doing the same node tree structure over and over and over. All you gotta do is a copy and paste. I could also delete, go to that node, Command C, Command V, and that's copy and paste. Now I just copy and paste that same grade onto a second footage, but save me a ton of time. All I have to do is go to the shadows, raise my shadows a little bit. This is where now I go to my highlights, because you can see there's a little highlights in here. I go to the highlight. This is where your highlights are hidden. I bring some of the highlights down. And just like that, woo, getting some good footage. Let's bring this back, close our gallery, bring our clip back in. Got my contrast, keep the contrast contrasty. Got saturation, pull some of that out. And just like that, I've just, in less than a minute, I just created a footage. Less than a minute. Like less than a minute, you can grade your footage. It takes less than a minute if you're creating, especially if you're doing a talking head. And if you know what you're doing, you could take less than 5 minutes, less than 3 minutes to create a full footage as a beginner. Simple steps, but professional results. Good grading should feel invisible, not loud. Just like that, you've graded your footage. Look at that. Nice, beautiful, simple. Few simple steps. Remember, the magic 6. And once you keep the magic 6, you can grow from there. But let's keep it simple, let's keep it straightforward, and keep it clean and professional, and you can grow. And there you have it. Just a few simple steps got you grading like a professional. Remember, it's all about your journey, and trust the process. Let's jump in the heat, roll up your sleeves, and let's get cooking. I'll see you in the next vid.